Hello friends. Got another stream, 3 nights in a row. Look at us. I've got some stuff I want to do in the beta tonight, so yeah, we're gonna get right to it. Hey everyone. Hope your Monday was good. Hope that wherever you are, you find yourself having a good time tonight. Thank you for coming out to hang out in my stream. We will, yeah, we're gonna be doing some beta stuff tonight. We're gonna be doing some dungeon testing, trying to get some footage that I can use to do kind of like overview videos of the dungeons that we're gonna have in Season 1. I'm gonna start with some of the returning dungeons because I feel a little bit more familiar with those, and they're a lot, they're tuned a lot better right now, so they're easier to test. So we're gonna do this for starting with the Prot Warrior tonight. Might do some DK stuff later. But right now I just want to get see if we can get a good Grim Batol run going. I feel like this will be maybe the most interesting of the returning dungeons to make a video about, because obviously it's the oldest one. It's got the most changes, and I'm hopeful that yeah, we can put together a video that's gonna be useful and helpful for people. I have found that sometimes these keys on the beta, like, sometimes it's hard to get a good video going because people don't really know the mechanics that well, or sometimes people crash and then never come back, or they just, like, mysteriously go offline, which feels really weird. Like, we're playing the beta, of course people aren't going to know everything, of course there's going to be wipes and learning. I'm just going to do these on a +3 tonight so I can kind of chill and focus on learning as much as we can about the dungeon. Try and just, yeah, get a good feel for how the bosses are. I feel pretty comfortable in Grim Batol. I've done this dungeon almost, maybe the most. If not, it's like one of the top 2 or 3 that I've run. So, yeah, we'll get in there and see how it goes. If there is a particular tank that you guys want to see in action tonight, just let me know. And as long as it's not Prot Paladin, we can swap around and get it going, get it done. Trying to get a little bit of class diversity in this key. One of the things I've liked doing on the beta is like trying to get different classes involved. Like the last time I did something on Warrior, I was doing heroics, and we ended up with 3 mages in the group. But just trying to see how the different specs are performing. Just get an idea of what's good and what's popular. Didn't think it would take this long to get a group together, especially with a tank and a healer, but maybe there's just not many people looking to do testing on Monday night. Have they given Prot Warriors any utility in the War Within? Nothing new, but they have made it easier to get Shockwave. They moved it like way up in the tree. You still have Rallying Cry, which, I mean, it's not great, but it's something. You do have Intimidating Shout, and you can path into this one that makes everything cower in fear instead of running away. So There's nothing like... I'm trying to think of a person. There's no like Dispel or anything, obviously. There's nothing you can use to heal people, but... The Warrior Toolkit is very much the same. It's just easier to grab stuff that you want in the talent trees now. So... I guess Champion Spear is kind of unique utility. There's not that many classes that can like pin stuff down in an area. Nothing new. Yeah, nothing new. But honestly, I think Warrior's in a really good spot. It feels very sturdy and it's very fun to play in my opinion. So if you're looking for something to carry groups to the level that like Paladins historically can or Demon Hunters can right now, then it doesn't have that. But those are kind of outliers. But thank you for the question. I appreciate it. And thank you for coming and hanging out. I did not think it would take this long to fill up a group for a +3. Hopefully we'll get some more people in here. I guess I could ask in trade chat. Lore Mistress with the dad joke redemption. Make sure this is one I haven't already read. The recipe said, set the oven to 180 degrees, but now I can't open it because the door faces the wall. You're welcome, chat. Oh, we got a mage in here. Pick them up for sure. Please, Blizz, shine your divine intervention on Prot Paladin. It sure needs it. Oh, the mage canceled. Oh, we got a warlock here. Prot Paladins surely need that divine intervention. I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit. Feels like it's a little bit loud in my ears. Alright, we are going to Grim Batol. This dungeon has been one of the highlights for me of the beta so far. I really like the changes they've made, and I'm really excited to make a video about it. So hopefully we get some good footage and don't have to do a super long mini death run. It is just a 3, so hopefully it'll be pretty smooth. You can pick up the quests in here. Probably not looking to do those. Ooh, I'm now neutral with the Earthen Ring. Let's go. Oh, I think the Warlock went to the wrong dungeon. He is currently in Siege of Boralus. May have misclicked. We might actually be able to go out and summon. I think this is one of the dungeons where it actually lets you step outside a little bit. We'll see if he can hearth and make his way over here. I guess maybe they give you the what's it called? On the Tournament Realm they give you the town portal thing. Maybe their toys. Yeah, not here. Alright, cool, we got everybody in here. Anyway, hope you all are having a good start to your week. Thank you for coming by to hang out. We're gonna do some dungeons tonight. Just get some more reps in these. Hopefully get some good footage. Remember to start recording. Let's see, which frenzied. Okay, sweet. That's like the more passive option. Shouldn't be too bad on a 3. Because we're doing a 3, it is not even fortified. Also experimenting with some UI stuff. Testing out having, instead of weak auras, just having another action bar here with cooldowns that I want to track. I may end up making it like 2 action bars. Because the most abilities you can have on one single bar is 12. And there are like, I think like 14 maybe things that I want to track on it. So, yeah, we'll see. Apparently that is still a one-shot. Even on a not fortified 3. Waste for DPS. Alright, I want to be careful here because I know the other stuff, the other mobs over yonder can chain. I would like to see a little bit of a buff to ignore pain. Like, you can see the size of the absorb shield when I dump rage into it, and it feels very, very small. I don't feel like I should be complaining about Pro Warrior though, because it's really good overall right now. Oh, we lost our healer. He pops right back up. Alright, so now we get to attack all these mobs. Try to hit them all at least a couple of times. Keep it somewhat even. Kill some of these trogs just because. If you kill all of the stuff, you do get a, what's it called? You do get count for it. We'll let everybody finish doing theirs. So we get all the free damage on all these mobs, might as well take advantage of that. Looks like our warrior is just about to land here. Everybody's here. Let's go. okay. So these Twilight Overseers do an ability called Rive that increases your physical damage taken by 20% in stacks. So you want to be careful of that. Probably don't like double or triple pull packs with these unless you have a plan for how to deal with those, because I'm pretty sure these guys are fully immune to CC as well. Here we do have a pack with 2 of them, so we'll have to have a defensive ready. Go ahead and shield wall. Yeah, because we do get 2 stacks of it, so maybe those are the packs that you really want to target with all of the damage that you get from the dragons. Looks like they don't cast it often enough to like really stack it up high though, because it fell off before they cast it again. Okay, so I think this one is safe at first. Nope, it was not. Okay, they really nerfed the damage to that though. Wait, did they make it so there's just a safe row? Interesting. I'll have to check on that this time. Yeah, I think they changed it so that there's just 3 drakes that go across instead of 4. And then there's 2 waves of them. Oh. Okay. That is an interesting change. Kind of hard to make it through when there's those puddles everywhere. So you probably want to just like move the puddles out to the side and then leave a path to run through in the middle. I haven't done this dungeon yet this week, so that is a pretty good change though. Because that boss was kind of a bug killer last week. Or at least the last time I did this. Which I guess was 2 weeks ago now, because they didn't have testing last week. And then this boss, yeah, he's still gonna pat. So we'll pull this pack here. See if we can take care of them before he makes his way over. Forge Master Throngus. I did download the week aura for the like Mythic Plus timer and everything, and that appears to be a little bit bugged at the moment because it is not showing any of the bosses, and it's also not showing the actual percent we're at. So I may need to disable that. Let's make sure that we run away when he gets his molten hammer out. This guy is still bugged and doesn't actually wield his weapons all the time, which is pretty funny. It's a pretty amusing bug, at least. Yep, run away. Just run away. He doesn't actually have it for that long, so it's like super easy to stay away from him. Do just want to be careful with where we're positioning all the fire. I imagine on like higher tyrannical keys, you're going to want to be mindful of how much space you're using here. We can skip this pack. Okay, I need to disable this weak aura. Let me just... Oh, okay. There's a pack here. I will take it. We'll see if the trash count gets updated at all from this. I'm wondering if it just didn't count... Well, it's showing the bosses now, but it doesn't show any of them as dead. Okay, yeah, let me just... I'll just delete this one. We can import it later. Sec, reload. So it's important to know what our percentage is, so we can actually pull effectively. We're at 48. It was telling us it was telling me I was at 7%. Okay, glad we took care of that. Alright, now I think you want to skip the stuff on the left here. Like these guys, we'll just pull around the corner here. So these enforcers get a stacking and rage buff with every melee attack. It only lasts for like 3 seconds, so if you can avoid getting meleeed for 3 seconds, they drop it. So I think the meta is going to be you'll want to like stun them or just like step out of melee range at, I don't know, some moderate amount of stacks. The lava benders are actually pretty dangerous, so we want to avoid those. I mean, we have to pull this guy, but we want to try to pull him alone. I'm going to pull these warlocks over here. See if we can pull them back. That lava bender is coming in. Okay. We're just going to... We'll go ahead and pop Avatar. Yeah, when they hit Ascension, they start going pretty ham. Not too dangerous at this skill level, though. Warlocks do a curse that is a big heal absorb too, so watch out for that. There's an enforcer in this pack. Make sure that enrage drops off. Yeah, it does pretty dramatic damage increase. Got a lava bender here. You can avoid the warlocks behind us there. This bridge is kind of a rough spot to fight this guy. I don't think these Shadow Flame bolts hit too hard. It did like maybe 40% of that guy's health and damage. So you don't just want to eat all of them, but... No, that was not what we want to have happen. Alright, well... Alright, everybody's got that big curse. Multiple stacks of it now. Like, the healing absorb is just wild. They have, Blizzard's been using healing absorbs to test healers a lot lately, and I don't know how I feel about it. We're just gonna wait for people to run back here. The run back is unfortunately pretty long. There is a checkpoint after Throngus, like in the middle of this room, so it's not like you're running back from the entrance. That would be brutal. You have to go like all the way around that. But even with the checkpoint, it is not a short run back. I'm immune to these guys' stuns. And this can be a really nasty pull, 2 lava benders. I think the key here is you want to like focus one down and make sure you don't make them go ascended at the same time. We're just DPSing them down evenly, so just full YOLO here. Plus they have the enraged thing. We're gonna have to wait for another run back, unfortunately. I don't think I have any food that I can eat. I mean, this is pathetic. 281 health, 281k health when I have 7 million. Yeah, they're all running back together. No point in dropping a summoning stone. See, this is the part that we'll edit out when we're making a video about this run, about this dungeon. Let's see. Thunderblast is so satisfying. I love Mountain Thane Warrior. So Thunderblast, which is like the upgraded Thunderclap, is dealing that much damage. That might be... No, because there's Thunderclap. Alright, this boss is fairly easy. You just want to be careful. So you want to kick his firebolts. His curse, ideally you are able to dispel the person that the ad is fixated on if he's close. Yeah, some of these ads that fixate, if they reach their target, everybody dies. So don't let that happen. I found out that maybe this was a bug, but the first time I was testing this place, if you charge it as a warrior before it has a target, sometimes it will just go boom and kill everybody. You get him down to like 1 health, and then he runs and jumps on this dragon. And the dragon, thankfully, you just have to get to 50% health. But it will have like a frontal breath, and he will continue to summon the ads you have to kill. So you're gonna kill the dragon, but you also have to kill the ads. He summons 2 of them now in this phase. Okay, that's new. That's new this week. Then you just get out of the breath. And then there's also those fire tornadoes that you have to dodge. So this fight does get a little hectic as you get later into it. It's not a bad fight though. I think it's pretty fun, and having a I forgot about the knockback. You could get knocked off of the edge here, so you want to make sure you're not doing that. Yeah, you basically get the dragon to 50%, and he's at 1 health, so he just dies immediately. And here we go. This is biggest pack in this place. I don't have Shockwave up yet. I guess one nice thing about the Mountain Thane tree is there's a hero talent that causes your Stormbolt to hit 3 targets. So you have like you get extra stuns basically. Obviously you have Shockwave, which is really easy to get now, that hits everything. But then having Stormbolt on 3 is really good. Looks like we can line of sight. That's actually really smart. Pull these dragons to where you can line of sight their big AoE knockback. Oh, that's huge. That's huge. Alright, we've got a strategy unlocked right there. The old line of sight tech. Okay, these things can get pretty nasty. So they put a maybe they do? Yeah, there it is. They put a stacking dot on, I think, on whoever they're meleeing. Increases your shadow damage taken. I think it was only 1% last time, and now it's... yeah, it's 5% per stack. And then these mobs do shadow damage, so... oh no, it looks like it's splashing, so they're... must be an ability they have now. I'll have to check that on the VOD. Yeah, we'll let our dude get rezzed here. Let's debuff fall off. That's gonna be really nasty on the boss, because those guys are ads that get summoned on the boss. Oh, maybe it's... it could just be when they die they do it. I know they were applying... I think they were applying on a melee last time, if I remember correctly. Could be mistaken. Yeah, let's give our stacks just a moment to fall off here. We'll see if our... oh! I got mind controlled. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I guess I was standing in one of the... things, one of the like swirlies that went off there. I did not realize they were in mind control. That is good to know. That will be helpful information to provide to everybody. Oh, we're 6% short too. Didn't feel like we skipped that many things. I was trying to look for a tool that you can use to like do route making on the beta dungeons. I did not see one. So I know like the tendrils on this fight just pick you up and root you. But then that's very dangerous, because if you get hit by the enclosing AoE here, well, it's pretty much a death sentence. They did nerf it so there's only 2 circles, unless the DK AMS one he may have. We'll see what the next one that goes out. Okay, here we've got some ads. Thankfully, getting knocked back through those does not cause you to get rooted. Okay. I think it is going to be valuable if you can do something like Blessing of Freedom and then run through a bunch of these, or even like bubble and run through a bunch. That's going to be very, very useful. Looks like there are 3 going out. So you can just AMS it if you're a DK. Which is pretty big brain. Oh, that hurt a lot. Let's health stone and health pot. Don't need to be wiping on this boss. Okay. We gotta go get some trash. Let's see, 6%. Really didn't feel like I was skipping too much. Maybe they'll adjust the percentages a little bit. I wonder. I bet I can leap across here. Maybe from here. How did... There we go. Nice. Okay, these warlocks should do it. Hopefully those guys can gate across. Well, the warlock can gate across. The other guy just ran. Alright, let's see. I got some defensive cooldowns. I don't know if these guys are going to be quite enough, but we'll try and get a better count on what we actually need to pull. That curse is just brutal. It's so much healing absorb. Over 4 million healing absorb. And it's not kickable either. This guy, he gave 1%. Oh dear. Okay, well... in that case, these guys are not going to give us enough. We're going to have to go pull something bigger. Hopefully this pack with the Molten Giant will be enough. Oh, they pulled. Oh no. Oh no. No, I'm stunned. This Beguiler should finish the dungeon. There we go. So we did have plenty of time to go back and do that. You need a lot of count in this place though. I couldn't tell this because of the bug with my weak aura. Maybe they changed it so if you completely like 100 to 0 a pack at the beginning part with the drakes. Can I not? Why can't it? Okay, it's not gonna let me take the gateway. Neat. I should be able to jump back across We get the angle right here. I guess it doesn't matter, the loot we get mailed to us, but... How's Prop Pal feeling in the beta? The Hammer Hero Tree Chen sick? You know, unfortunately Prop Paladin is feeling very, very weak right now. It feels the squishiest of all the tanks. Word of Glory feels like it barely moves your health bar. Especially if it doesn't crit. It was like non-crits were healing for like around 10% of my health bar when I was testing with it the other day. So it needs some help. It needs quite a bit of help right now. I think there is a lot of potential in the Lightsmith tree. I think that's what it's called, right? Lightsmith? Or are you talking about the Templar tree, the one where you're dropping hammers? They both have a lot of really cool flavor, and I think they have a lot of potential, but just like the base toolkit of the class needs some serious buffs, which can still happen, which can definitely happen. Like tuning is something that's always ongoing on the beta. They haven't really taken a lot of tuning passes to the tanks yet, so we'll see where that ends up. I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with Prop Paladin. I just think it yeah, it needs some love. It needs some buffs. Alright, we're gonna go do Mists of Tirna Scithe now. I'm gonna reload to get this UI bug off the screen here. Cool, that worked. Let's see, that Grim Batol +3 took a long time to fill up, but I think we got some good testing done in there, some good footage, and a warning about the route and the current percentage. I think I probably want to take one more pass without the weak ore install just to see, like, are we not getting count for fully killing packs? Because we did fully kill one of the packs with the Drakes. I know that in the first round of testing you got count for that, but maybe they have changed that. I mean, if they changed it, that has to be a bug, because if you are like super effective and super efficient on it, you could find yourself in a scenario where you kill too many of them to actually be able to complete the dungeon. And that would not be okay. Ooh, nice, we got a healer. Alright, we are going over to Mists. We have a druid, so we can do the little skips here. If our monk knows the paralyzing ring of peace thing, we can skip the really difficult pack in the hallway. Lightning bolt while moving, says in chat, remember what it took away from us 10 years ago. It's time to bring it back. That's funny. That's one of the more humorous chat messages I've seen. I would 100% at least have an Elemental Shaman as an alt if they brought that back. I was playing around with it on Cataclysm Classic. It's so fun being able to run around while you do your whole rotation, basically. Jimka, thanks for checking in. What tanks am I liking? My top 3... So my top 2 in no particular order are Warrior and Death Knight. And then Monk is a somewhat close third right now. Those are definitely my 3 favorites. I think Druid has the potential to sneak in there, but that's more out of just like a little bit of nostalgia and fondness for the class. I think Druid, like when you're actually in the dungeon or in the raid playing it, feels pretty fun. But there are a lot of problems that I want to see addressed with the class before I would commit to maining it at this point, I think. I'll skip this Warlock. We can go without a Bloodlust. It's only a +3. Is there one that is feeling the tankiest? I mean, Blood Decal of Dragonflight. We get to like 3300 IO and play Key Simulator. Never tried Brew due to button bloat, but that changed. I like Prot Warrior. Yeah, I think Prot Warrior feels the tankiest. Brew is fairly close, and they've definitely addressed the button bloat. Oh, our healer just left the party. Okay. Alright, don't know what that was about. Yeah, I think this is just based on like my personal experience with keys so far. Prot Warrior feels like super tanky. Blood Decay, like I haven't really tested it to the point where it's getting really stretched. But yeah, Blood Decay feels like it's always a little bit susceptible to one-shots just because like the nature of how it works. If you're super tanky on a Blood Decay, then you're just invulnerable. So it does eventually get one shot. And that was my main in Season 3 of Dragonflight, so I know how you feel. Alright, we'll get this Paladin, I guess. Brew definitely feels fun. There's a part of me that wants to pick Warrior just because it's been a long time since I've made Warrior. But I don't know if the practical side of me will let that be a major factor. Ready check going here. And a countdown. I need to put the key in. Uh-oh. Okay, we got it in time. Constant shield block is crazy. Yeah, I mean, you basically have full uptime on it. Like, on its own, it lasts for 8 seconds with a 13-second recharge. But then you have other ways to get it to. Alright, we're gonna wait till these guys are a little bit out of the way. Drop our spears, so these guys are stuck. Okay, these guys got pulled. And make sure you don't stand in front of the villagers when they're doing that frontal because it disorients. Prod just has like insane defensive tools in general too. Bewildering pollen. Don't get hit by that. Break the overgrowth so we can get our friends out. So when you hit shield charge, that gives you uptime on shield block. Obviously you can take bolster and then get full uptime when you hit last stand. One thing you want to be very wary of on these packs is, thankfully our healer is dispelling here, because a lot of healers don't dispel it, but these soul cleavers do an ability that makes you take like 20% increased damage and it sacks. So if that does not get dispelled, you can just get one shot real fast by these guys. So wish you could somehow fix the one shot of blood decay. You do everything right, just one shot. Yeah, it gets to that point faster than we'd like it to. Oh, did this guy do? Oh, sweet, they did the gateway skip. Awesome. Ah, going through the world. So we've got two. He's dispelling it faster than I can get to the tooltip, so that's a good sign. Don't really know how to keep myself up 100% as Prout Warrior. Feels like it makes sense for me. DK, just Death Strike. Defensive, pull runic power feels good. Just feel tough on pulling Warrior. Yeah, you have to be wise about how you spend your rage. It's not as important as runic power management. Like if you mess up at all with your runic power and DK, you're just gonna flop, right? But I think generally for Warrior, like you want to have shield block up anytime something's meleeing you. And you can get close to 100% uptime on it. You want to spend Rage on Ignore Pain if you feel like you need defensive pressure. Make sure you're spending your free revenges. If you have excess Rage and you don't need to hit Ignore Pain, you can hit your you can spend Rage on Revenge. You're gonna use Demo Shout pretty regularly. It's actually a huge button. It's like 20% damage reduction, 25% damage reduction, and it causes you to deal more damage to your targets. And then like you can be pretty aggressive with using Shield Wall too, and Last Stand, because like you get good cooldown reduction on those. I was a little early on my avatar there. Probably should have saved it for... And this guy goes into his increased damage taken phase. We'll use our spear here for sure. I think we'll need to kill the tree again here. Yeah, we gotta kill the tree for sure. There it goes though. What tank do I like the most right now? I can give you a top 2, but I don't think I can decide between them just yet. Top 2 right now in beta are Blood DK and Prot Warrior. Alright, first one is going to be left. Yeah, I'm not ready to narrow it down further yet. Brewmaster is definitely 3rd. And Guardian is a pretty distant 4th. I think Vengeance feels fine, but, well, relatively fine. Sorry, one sec here, chat. Alright, we're good here. Make sure we do the maze. Looking to main Blood DK and have Brew as an alt. I think that's a fantastic choice. I will be playing both of those, like, I can almost guarantee I'll be playing both of those a lot in Season 1 along with Prot Warrior. I just don't know which one is going to be, like, my main that I actually try to push on and raid on yet. One factor that I am considering a little bit is that not sure if my guild is going to have someone else bringing monk buff. We usually have a Mistweaver, and I think we will. That's the no circle one over here. But if we don't, then that might be something that pushes me toward Brew, at least for raid. What level do I rate it? I'm just a heroic raider. We get AOTC. We have with my guild we tried to push into Mythic a few times, and we usually just end up wiping to the roster boss after like a week or two of trying. Our raid hours are pretty late. Like obviously I'm streaming kind of late. What's this one here? Yeah. So it's recruiting is a little bit of a challenge. I think in in Vault of the Incarnates we got 2 mythic bosses down, and then like we just got tired of having to pug multiple spots and having people leave after 2 bosses because they just wanted their vault. And then in Aberrus we ended up like just doing heroic, not even trying to do mythic that tier. In Mirdrasil we did like we got the first boss down, and then that was like the only time we actually got to mythic for that tier. But I don't know, I enjoy heroic raiding. It's pretty chill. You can outgear it, and then it's fun just like doing farm clears, hanging out with the boys. What hours do we raid? I struggle to find a later guild. Our raid time is from 9 o'clock Pacific to midnight Pacific. So if that works for you, you know, we could talk about bringing you in. We need more DPS for sure at this point. I think we're good on tanks and healers for War Within. Oh, we failed the maze. Second hardest boss next to the elevator boss, the roster boss. What's up, Soul? That is 100% true. It's one of those bosses that you cannot raid lead your way out of. We've had some good recruits over the last couple of patches. Yeah, it's hard to recruit for a late night guild. Alright, we are on Mistcaller. I would actually be interested in link to DPS. What days do you raid? Awesome. We raid on Tuesday and Thursday. And then once we get the raid on farm, we usually just raid on Tuesdays. Thursdays, it kind of depends. We've done different things in different tiers. Often we will just end up doing keys. Like doing a guild key night on Thursday. In Aberrus, we actually... Let's see, it's the flower. Make sure I don't get patty caked. In Aberrus, we ended up doing like double heroic runs because we were able to clear it like on mains and alts in about an hour and a half. It's like we did a run with some keys on Tuesday and then a alt run with keys on Thursday, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, I'll send you a DM on Twitch after this key, Malnar, and we can talk about getting you in our guild. I think we are taking a break from raiding for the rest of the season right now. Well, we have some people who might want to do one more run, but... Oh, that thing started right next to us. Let's get away from it. Did we skip the second... Did she just like stop doing mechanics? Oh, there's the other guessing game. That was weird. Cool, it's this one over here. So yeah, Tuesday and Thursday works for you. I know how hard it is to find a late night guild. We have a lot of dad gamers and a lot of restaurant workers. Seems to be like something in common being available those hours. Don't have much raiding experience. The jobs have been hard to structure around, but now I'm settled on a more traditional 9 to 6 job. I'm gonna look something and push for portals for the first time as well. Yeah. Yeah, we would love to have you in, see if it works out, see if we're a good fit for each other. I have a few more raids left in S2X back in the arena as well. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, Season 4 was more fun than I expected it to be, but it is still like the same content. And without anything really new. Okay, so this ability, this Acid Nova that these Staghorns do, is new. I want to watch out for that. I'm going to... preemptively shield wall because this is a lot of mobs. Got my goals done, then was that the all help if asked but not gonna go out of my way to do stuff? Yeah. I mean, I definitely had fun like gearing up and stuff. That's always fun in a new season. Yeah, it's like, especially because they're making portals account-wide more within, so I already have all the portals for every character from seasons 1 and 2. So the incentive to push beyond just like gearing up wasn't really there. And then I think, I don't know if this is a mistake, but they added so many other fun game modes that it made it kind of like, well, okay, Cataclassic is pretty cool, and I wanted to play that. Mob Remix was awesome, especially for the first couple of weeks, and I wanted to play that. And then War Within Beta came out, and I wanted to play that. So it's like, well, what are we doing here? Oh, that guy got knocked off. I don't know if he can get hit by a res. Might have to run back. Hey, what's up, Franken? That's the Guild Season 4 for you. Yeah, it's like there's too much to do, and Season 4 is the thing that feels the least consequential. If there had been like... I think, low-key, one of the things that made Shadowlands Season 4 feel so much better is that we got a completely new dungeon rotation. Like, we did all the Shadowlands dungeons for 3 seasons, and then I guess Tazavesh was technically returning, but only from 1 season, and the rest of them were fresh. And even though it definitely wasn't like the most popular set of dungeons, the fact that it like changed things up a lot made it feel pretty fresh. And also, maybe another factor is like, because Shadowlands lasted so long, we hadn't been in Castle Nathria or Sanctum of Domination. No. Sanctum? Yeah, Sanctum for a long time. Whereas it kind of feels like we just got out of Aberys, and Vault wasn't that long ago either. Which I don't think is necessarily a problem, but it's like Season 4 existed in Shadowlands to solve a problem that didn't exist in Dragonflight. And that made it feel kind of way less exciting. Cool, thanks for giving me your B tag. Yeah, I will hit you up. We can chat. We can chat for sure. Like all the extra modes extended the content. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think it's a bad thing that they added all these extra modes. It just, it made Season 4 much easier to walk away from than other seasons. That's all I'm trying to say. I still am doing a little bit of stuff on Season 4, like... I want to have the best gear on whatever character I end up maining, heading into War Within. But I can tell you what, there is no way I'm grinding out like enough crests to upgrade everything on like 3 or 4 different characters. So whichever one I'm going to main is going to end up having like, I don't know, whatever, 525 or 528, whatever we can get to reasonably. And the others will just be 500 something. Got updated BNet as well. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to read your B-Tag out on stream, but I will make note of it and hit you up for sure. Alright, we will need to... Oh no. Oh no. I don't know if we have any more B-Reses. The good news is we have plenty of time to finish off this boss. No worries, appreciate it. We'd love to find a good home. Yeah, I mean, I think our guild is a good home. As an officer and raid leader, I may be a little bit biased, but I enjoy our guild. We have some fun. Just don't get too offended if you get swap blasted a few times. Alright, we gotta get one more pack here. We'll go in with... Yeah, we'll just pop every defensive here. I don't know, they took they did well, they sort of took me away, Soul. I mean, come on man, I could not make Apotheosis' raid times. And only being there for half the raid, like, I really enjoy raiding with you guys, but sometimes you want to be there for the whole raid, you know? I mean, every time I want to be there for the whole raid if I'm raiding. So, good-ish. Good-ish, that's ranking. I think we've got some good folks. Ooh, we got some gloves. Get Hearthstone going on here. When do they raid? I'll go raid with I think they raid like 2 hours earlier than us. True enough, don't blame me. Appreciate not blaming me. I don't know what it is, but 3s feel remarkably more chill than 4s. Maybe it's because we don't have tyrannical or fortified. It's fortified right now. Alright, I'm going to go do a Siege of Boralus. Oh. Has to have a difficulty. Happy Monday to all those of you who are just tuning in. Hopefully it's a happy Monday. Probably a Tuesday for a lot of you now. We're coming all the way toward the end of it here in Pacific time zone. So I hope you have a happy Tuesday as well. Got the late night crew hanging out. Just doing stuff on beta. Yeah, I've really liked the returning dungeons so far. Even Siege. I was definitely hesitant about Siege of Boralus, but I think the changes that they've made make it a much better experience. I'm interested to see, like, if we do some... I guess we can just go ahead and grab all those scrolls. If we do some of the new dungeons, I wonder how much they're going to kick my teeth in on a +3. Some of them are just, like, crazy overtuned. Oh, we found a thief. Orgrimmar thief. Now, does that mean he's a thief in Orgrimmar? Or does that mean he's trying to steal all of Orgrimmar? I would like to know. Switch over YouTube. Don't mind ads, but 5 minutes is a bit much. Was it really 5 minutes of ads? I need to check the settings on that then. I apologize if Twitch was giving me 5 minutes of ads. It's not my intention to run that many. We're gonna get our same healer back here, maybe. Take an opportunity to repair here.
I have many wares. Many farewell.
Not my fault. I mean, I can tweak the settings. There is like a minimum threshold that they... So like the way they get you with ads on Twitch is if you run like a certain amount of ads per hour, you get a higher percentage of like subs and bits and everything. And it's not like a super high threshold, but it's a little incentive. And it's taking a little bit of money away from Amazon, so that's a good thing, right? Let's see if we can find some DPS in trade chat. We can't set length just from... Yeah, that's true. Yeah, 5 minutes is pretty crazy. I'm gonna change up the music while we're waiting for people to queue up here. Yeah, let's do this one. Where all the DPS at? People doing stuff on retail tonight, or just have gone to bed. That's one cool thing about the beta, is that you get to play with people from every region, so everybody's lumped on the same server. But like, if you're on the east coast of the US, it's already what, like 1:30 a.m., so most East Coasters are probably asleep. People in the EU are like just waking up. Probably not that many people waking up and being like, yeah, I'm gonna test keys right now. I'm sure we'll find people eventually. Yeah, I just want to get as much testing as I can done tonight in case there is no testing next week. I'm not expecting there to be no testing, but they did catch us off guard with no testing last week, so I guess 2 weeks ago now. Realistic Q cross faction for PvE. I don't get why that's a limitation. Normally I wouldn't care, but now the heroic dungeons will actually be an important part of gearing, and kind of limits if you're in a guild with opposite faction and can't queue for heroics with 1 to 3 others. Yeah, I think that's something they need to take another look at. Especially since guilds are cross faction, like it doesn't make sense that you can't at least opt into doing queuable content cross faction. Like, I understand there are probably some people out there who still want there to be a difference between the factions and want there to be like, you know, I don't want the opposite faction in my dungeons. I don't personally understand that headspace or that take, but I want to respect that. But they could just give you an opt-out option like they have in the Dungeon Finder when you're listing your keys, right? Always preferred Alliance, but most guilds are still mostly Horde. Yeah. I think with like racial abilities were in a place for a long time where like Horde was just better. And so everyone kind of naturally migrated to Horde over time, and then everything's cross-faction now, except for queuable content. But there's not really an incentive to switch back. Although I guess a lot of people play Dwarf these days. I mean, my Death Knight is Dwarf, because the racial is pretty strong. That's what role-playing realms are for. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, maybe if you're on a role-playing realm, you can't be in like a cross-faction queue. But like, they could just put like, you go to the Dungeon Finder, right? They could just put another checkbox right here that says same faction only or something. Or have one that says allow cross-faction. Blood Elf Supremacy racial area and BFA was nuts. Yeah, that thing was crazy. when it was just like instant AoE interrupt and silence. There's some scenarios where the AoE dispel is pretty crazy too. Oh, the mage died. Or it didn't, he almost died. I'm not going to be picky about who we're taking to this dungeon. Not if we've been waiting for people to queue up for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. Always loved dwarves and night elves and was ready to switch back, but then queuing heroics, especially season 1 of the War Within, will probably be important, so we stay horde for now. Yeah, I mean, it'll be important in the short term, but I think once you get to the point where you can do Mythic Plus pretty easily, like, at least on the characters you're pushing keys on, it shouldn't be too big of a deal. The one that always gets me is that you can't do time walking cross faction. Yeah, I think that's something they should ease the restrictions on a little bit more, and maybe they will. They've taken a very like slow approach to taking down the faction barriers, and I think that's okay, because it's one of those things that's like, if they take it down and it really hurts someone's gameplay experience for like whatever reason, it's not something that they can really put back in. So I think a lighter touch on changes to things that have been a core part of the game for a long time is okay. It would have been nice if they started a long time ago though. Like, cross-faction guilds took a long time for them to be okay with. Oh no, our mage went offline. Well, we got to do 2 dungeons. Hopefully we'll get to do a 3rd here. Just smack some critters in the meantime. Sweet, our mage came back. Our group is full. Alright, to the Siege of Boralus. What dungeon is the most difficult? So, right now, so we have 4 returning dungeons for Season 1, right? And 4 of the new dungeons. We can't see the seasonal distinction. Right now, the War Within dungeons are all tuned pretty rough. I think the hardest of them has been the Stone Vault, just based on my own testing. I did successfully complete this dungeon one time, but I was getting absolutely trucked like the whole way through. And we had multiple wipes on every boss, I think. The first boss, Edna, is like a pretty hard wall, even on like a 4. And part of it could just be gear scaling, but like some of the abilities that it does were doing like millions of damage every time they ticked. And you have like the mage here has like 3 million health. The paladin has 4 million. So it's doing, like, you have something ticking every 2 seconds, doing half of the entire party's damage, and then the healer just can't keep up. So, I think the new dungeons need some tuning. The returning dungeons feel like they're in a pretty good spot. Alright, let's give it a countdown.
You push further into the distance.
Siege of Boralus.
With any luck, we'll drive this scum from the city before high tide.
This pack is getting annihilated. The Evoker is doing 1.3 million DPS right now. Now for those who played Horde in Battle for Azeroth, you may be a little confused about the start here. Horde and Alliance had different versions of this dungeon, and Blizzard decided that everyone will do the Alliance version in War Within here. So we will we'll for sure talk about that when we make the video for this place. It does impact the routing a little bit. It's really just until like the trash before the first boss. We can go on to the next pack here. There's like a dock underneath the starting area, and that's where Horde started. Alliance starts up above, like actually in the city. I know what we ended up doing most of the time as Alliance though is just jumping down and running along the dock that the Horde had, just because the mobs down there were a little bit easier and more efficient. But at least at the levels I've been testing on, like just doing the pulls in front of you don't feel too bad. There are a couple of spots where you can like accidentally chain pull another pack that has like 10 mobs in it, and that does feel pretty bad. So I would urge you to be very, very careful about that. Oh, okay, we got another pack in here. Yeah, this is a spot where like chain pulls happen. It seems like in every key. Also, these bombers are so annoying to move. Yeah, this gets chain pulled like every time. I don't know why I'm still bothering to try and skip it. See if we can kind of inch this guy over. You have to like, yeah, just try and like take one melee hit and bring them a little closer. They don't like to move though. Oh, we might be in some trouble here. The thing is, like, they don't necessarily aggro on the tank. Oh, where do these guys come from? Okay. We got more friends in here. Like, these guys just chuck their bombs around, so it makes them very, very challenging to move. Okay, that could have all gone a whole lot worse. pull these guys back, which means we need to move quite a bit back so the bomber actually comes up here. If you don't pull these guys back, then the boss tends to decide to join them. Looks like our shaman went offline. Hopefully he comes back. Oh, that gutter is going to run and pull the boss. I have a feeling our shaman is not coming back. Maybe we'll swap to DK and run this one back. This boss does not like to reset. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, I think the shaman's probably not coming back. I am going to Hearth and then swap over to my Death Knight. And we will get this dungeon completed. Alright, it's DK time. Let's see. I think I need to grab a scroll. I need to grab Keystone too. Alright, Siege of Boralus 3. Oh, we already had a siege key. Or siege scroll. Alright, we're gonna be playing Sand Lane in here. Get some huge vamp bloods, huge vampiric strikes, and massive amounts of haste. Let's see if these guys queue up. We got enhancement shaman. Those shaman changes look pretty cool. Be interested to see how they actually play starting tomorrow. I think this is the same evoker we just had. Yeah, there we go. No Voracious and M+. It's tough. Cause like, I want Umbilicus, so I don't have any extra points up here, and I want Gorfine's Grasp. So like, what do you drop to take it, right? You could drop Coagulopathy, but getting that extra Blood Plague damage is huge for the DPS output of Sand Lane. So I've been running without it, yeah. It feels very, very painful to give up. But like, it's just at a spot where the options to drop something for pathing are very, very limited. I think, so I've done a couple of keys where I dropped Bone Storm for it, but Bone Storm does a ton of damage on its own too. Drop Bloodshot. That's probably the best idea, actually. Especially like early in Season 1, we're not going to have a ton of uptime on Blood Shield. And so much of our damage is Shadow. Yeah, you're right, I should drop Bloodshot. I know the healing on it feels insane. Hey Thor, just recently subbed you. Love your videos on the tanks. Honestly, I've been wanting to get into tanking with Druid. Watched recent vid on them, and I'm highly considering it. Well, thank you. Thank you for the sub and for watching the videos. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Yeah, I definitely have a lot of mixed things to say about Guardian Druid, but I think the actual gameplay, once you get through all the talent tree stuff, feels pretty fun. Ironheart feels bad in Season 1. I'm really bad with like actual names of talents. I mean, yeah, but the 20% extra absorb on it is kind of nice. Like, you're not going to get the full uptime. Franken with the dad joke redemption. Let's see. I think I've already done that one. Okay, here we go. I tried to fix my clogged toilet. Found a wooden shoe in there. You're welcome, everybody. Thank you for the dad joke redemption. For those on YouTube, I have this, I don't know if you'll be able to see him with the green screen filter, but I have this stack of, yeah, there we go. You can kind of see him. Stack of dad joke cards. One of my Twitch channel point redemptions is for me to read a dad joke. And if you happen to proc it when it's raid night and I'm in raid with my guild, I will read it over Discord to all of them, much to their chagrin. Bloodstone is good with trinkets if you have. Yeah, like, was it the Rezon's trinket with Bloodshot? That was insane in Season 3. But you gotta have a trinket that does physical damage and is also really good. That's one thing I need to do is, like, actually take a look at all the trinkets. Especially the tank ones. Because they're trying to push tanks more toward playing tank trinkets. Sweet, we got some mage food. Move a key somewhere I can actually find it. Yeah, they want tanks to be playing tank trinkets, but I haven't actually looked at if any of them are any good. Mark of Darkroll, another really good one. Yeah, the fact that it gives, because it's 25% more damage, the fact that it gives that to trinkets can be like super OP sometimes. Just make sure got everything right on that key. This will give us a good chance to compare DK versus Warrior 2. Since we just did all of these pulls on a Prot Warrior.
With any luck, we'll drive this scum from the city before high tide.
Oh, I got knocked off. Well, okay. I guess just jump in the water and start it over. Or maybe we just maybe we just pull it down and kill it. I was not expecting that to happen. Alright, we're going the Horde route. I guess. Why not? Not exactly how you're supposed to do that jump, but we need that stun. Stump 2, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. That's one nice thing about DK, just being able to move mobs. Just the control you have feels so good. Alright, I'm not going to make this mistake again. I'm going to pull these guys. There's a pat that will be coming around behind over here, so I want to be conscious of that. What do I think they should do to make DK not get one shot? I think it's a tough call. Maybe... I mean, there are things you can do to help with that in the tree that we just usually don't, right? Like, they did make Rune Tap very easy to take. It just feels bad to press that over, like, Heart Strike or whatever. Speaking of, I need to get some Bone Chill charges up. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough because if you give DK too much, like, big upfront mitigation, then I think it just becomes way too powerful. I think maybe one way to do it would just have, like, would just be to have very careful dungeon tuning so that things don't get to the point where you are getting one shot before you're, like, missing the timer just because you don't have enough damage. But then that does feel kind of bad, so I don't know. Don't quite have Gorfing's Grasp yet. We'll just go ahead and dunk on these guys. When it comes to high keys, there's just so much outside of your control. Yeah, I think that's... yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't really have a good answer for how they could do that in a way that wouldn't make it completely OP. Maybe give you more... like, more avoidance. Not the stat avoidance, but, like, more parry and dodge. We'll have to get our mage up here, maybe. Stabilize. This on the wrong spot. This is a spot that I'm not used to having it on. This doesn't make Bone Storm and the Insatiable Blade. Should be fine. Where did all the bombs go? Oh, it's all the way over there. Let's keep these guys in the mage's AoE at least. Oh. Oh, no, no. I was not expecting that. And Insatiable Blade is the one that gives you
Please, ensure Lady Proud more safety.
work with Insatiable. Okay. We're gonna pull this back here. Insatiable Blade is the one that gives you cooldown reduction on Dancing Rune Weapon, right? I mean, I don't know. I've reported that as a bug a couple of times. I feel like it's probably intentional because you would just have permanent Dancing Rune Weapon, which would be a solution, but then they'd have to nerf the damage it does to compensate, I think. I mean, I would love to have permanent uptime on Dancing Rune Weapon, but I don't expect to, you know? It does work with Tombstone, at least. So there's that. Make it over here. It'd be 50-second CDR. Yeah, which would be probably excessive. Can we... Okay, no, he's immune to grips. How come he gets to run into the water like that? I mean, it would help a lot. Yeah, it would definitely help a lot. Like I said, I've reported it as a bug that it doesn't work with it. I just suspect that Blizzard does intend it to not give CDR there. People are saying they're gonna fix it. Haven't played beta. Are you unkillable during Bone Storm? You feel really, really strong during Bone Storm. Like, it gives a pretty good amount of healing. One of my initial worries was that it would, like, you would have a gap in bone shield coverage, but it doesn't actually happen because, like, you hit it and it only consumes up to 10 charges, and then it regenerates them faster than you can possibly lose them from getting attacked. I guess you could get a gap in coverage if you, like, Bone Storm into Tombstone, but I feel like you're kind of trolling if you do that. It does it does so much damage too. It does work with Shattering Bones too. Hey Stump, I saw your YouTube, love your video. It's nice, thank you. Really appreciate the kind words. I'm doing my best to make content that is good and helpful for people, so I'm glad people are finding it good and helpful. And I'm enjoying making it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Thinking they pop when you have 12 stacks, so you're left with 2. Yeah, I mean, it will consume up to 10 stacks, right? Because you can get up to 12 with, I forget the name of it, but it's like a new talent. You can go up to 12, but it will not consume those last 2 stacks. So yeah, you can do what I just did there, like use Tombstone immediately, and then you have a gap in coverage, but it lasts less than a second, so unless you have like 40 mobs wailing on you during that time, probably going to be okay. Andrew F., can you talk a little about the boss mechanics, please? Sure. So this boss has its main ability is a ranged attack. If you do not put a slow on this boss, it will jump away out of melee range every like 5 seconds or something really aggressive. So when you're doing this place, you want to either talent your own slow or bring someone who does like come with a slow. So like having an evoker and a, oh, this is really bad, and a frost mage is really, really good. And then when the boss gets to full energy, she will jump onto the boat and become untargetable. You can see she has like 700k health left. And she will summon 3 adds. One of them drops this cannon that our Tauren friend there just picked up. And you get an extra action button when you pick up the cannon. And you can shoot at the boss. And she will jump back into the normal battlefield. So I guess the other thing that you could see happening there during the... Sorry, just make sure I don't get hit by that slam there. The other thing you can see happen is like all the swirlies that get spawned. If you don't have a major defensive running, even as a tank, those are almost a one-shot on even at this key level. So you want to make sure you don't get hit by those. There are gaps between them, so you don't have to get hit by them. But they do an incredible amount of damage. You're supposed to dodge them. I'll try to give a overview of each boss as we get to it. I am planning to do like a voiceover for these, for eventually all the dungeons, just to kind of a rundown on like what the important mechanics are, what different mobs do. Is Gorfine's Grasp useful? Yes, it is definitely useful. I'm not running the talent for it right now, but there is a talent that makes it an AoE silence for 3 seconds for any mobs that it moves. So that makes it even more useful, but I think in a lot of pulls, just being able to round up all the mobs... Lost our healer there. Just being able to like round up all the mobs and then get them stacked real tight is really, really nice. Out of that. Yeah, these mobs do an AoE fear that you definitely want to dodge. You can get away with standing in it as a warrior or a death knight if you have Lichborn or a Berserker Rage. Oh, there's bananas right in front of me, I didn't see them. Yeah, one thing you want to be careful of in this area is like these banana piles on the ground. If you run into them, you will slip and fall and get stunned for like 2 seconds, I think it is. And you just look ridiculous. Nobody wants to look like a dummy, right? I think we can skip those guys. And there's even some up the stairs here too, so... Those pesky hosen dropping their bananas all over the place. I will say there are definitely spots where Gorfine's Grasp is not as useful. If you have a lot of mobs that you are not able to use forced movement effects on, it obviously loses a lot of its power. Alright, we're gonna line of sight these guys back here. But like, if I just want to reposition... First of all, I want to grip this guy in. Yeah, if you just want to reposition a bunch of mobs, or if there's a bunch of cats about to go off, you can interrupt them. But like right here, really nice to get everything stacked up. Which one would I pick if I could only use one, A-Bomb or Gorfine's? It depends on how urgent it is that I get everything stacked up. Because Gorfine's can do it in one global. But then A-Bomb can like continuously reposition mobs. I think if you're in a scenario where there's like mobs that are on low health that are running away and are gonna pull stuff, A-Bomb Limb is probably more useful. But Gorfine's can be nice in that scenario too, so I would probably lean toward A-Bomb Limb because it looks cooler, but that's not a great reason. Alright, so this boss will do some AoE ground effects. See those swirlies there? There will be spots that they leave behind that you do not want to stand in. He also does a frontal that leaves similar AoE behind, or I don't know, sometimes does. He also does this ability, Tidal Surge. When he does this, you need to hide on the side of the statue here. It will wash away the ground effects he's left behind, but if you get hit by it, you will die. Especially if you're not a tank. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe it doesn't leave. Maybe it's never left stuff behind. I feel like it used to. But you don't want to get hit by any of the swirlies, and you don't want to stand in those because they do quite a bit of damage over time. And the like the tidal waves that he summons don't come from the same direction every time. So you need to look on the map like where they're coming from and then get to the opposite side of the statue. And then after this boss dies, you want to quickly mount up and get to the gate. There will be a pack that comes through the gate a few seconds after it goes down. If you run through, you can avoid fighting that pack. And you don't need it for percentage. In fact, you might not even get percentage because they just fight they fight some NPCs down there. And then we're on the last boss. Oh, we lost our paladin. Hopefully he waits for res. So this boss, there's 3 platforms around the room. You can't really see it on the map there. But there's a demolishing terror and a gripping terror on each one. They actually recently changed this boss so that you don't have to fight multiple gripping terrors. Or multiple demolishing terrors. He used to just chain summon these for... until he'd summon like 3 or 4 or something on each platform. They recently changed it so that he only summons 1. And like, it feels This fight feels so much better now. He will also do this, like, these swirlies on the ground. You want to dodge those. But basically, you get to the platform, you want to kill the Demolishing Terror, then you want to kill the Gripping Terror, and after you do that, the NPC that is being held by the Gripping Terror gets freed. He repairs this cannon, and someone has to jump into the cannon and shoot the boss, and it'll do 1/3 of his health. And so you just do that little loop on each of the platforms. There's also this Putrid Waters that goes out. That does quite a bit of damage and needs to be dispelled. But when it dispels, anyone standing next to the person, like within like 5 yards, gets knocked back. So now since I'm tanking, I kind of need to get to the next platform so I can tank the new tentacle that's going to spawn over here. But sometimes other people don't do the oh, I don't know what happened with that. I think someone fell in the water. And we do not have a battle res. So we probably just need to wipe this. Yeah, I'm just gonna stand. We're just gonna wipe this real quick. Yeah, so basically, like, you jump in the cannon, and then you saw it pop up briefly, but you get a new action bar you can use to shoot the boss. You do that on all 3 platforms, and then boss dies. This boss does have a decent amount going on. Definitely less now that you don't have to, like, constantly be swapping to the tentacles. In BFA on high tyrannical keys, you would, like, barely get any damage on the Gripping Terror before the next Demolishing Terror spawned. And if your damage was too low, you would just, like, you would get multiple Demolishing Terrors up, and then it was just GG. Oh, the other thing, one of the mechanics in this dungeon is you cannot stand in the water. If you stand in the water, a shark will come after like 10 seconds and kill you. I'm glad they nerfed it a bit. Hated this dungeon BFA. Yeah, it was absolutely necessary that they made this change. And honestly, like, this dungeon is a lot better for it. Oh, that might hurt. Made it through. Yeah, that dot does a lot of damage. Okay, I'll just do the cannon. Hopefully they don't engage. So they do, someone's gonna get one shot. Yeah, that definitely feels really dangerous. I gotta stop doing that. Do not hit Tombstone right after you pop Bone Storm. Or vice versa. Also, you just lose a ton of damage from your Shattering Bones if you do that, so... Alright. Can the cannon miss? Do you have to aim? Yes, you do have to aim. You can miss with the cannon. It's hard to do, but I have missed the shot with the cannon before. Definitely don't do that. You don't have to like go through the whole thing again, but it's got a cooldown on the on-use ability. So, and then once you hit it, you have to get out of the cannon immediately and run away, because the boss destroys the cannon, and if you're still in it, you die too. I'm gonna pop. I spend Fortitude just to keep things safe over here. Is that instance still as awful as I remember it? How's it going, Tireline? It is not as bad. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it's the best dungeon in the world, but I think they've made some changes that make it a lot better. We've been talking about the changes they made to this boss. It only summons one Demolishing Terror on each platform, so you don't get more. It's like that. Now that we've killed that first Demolishing Terror, there will be no more summoned on this platform. You can just kill the Gripping Terror, deal with the other mechanics. And like that change alone makes this entire dungeon feel so much better, because that was one of the worst mechanics in any dungeon, you know? They've also made it so you don't have to do the Ashenvale Spotter Cheese. They no longer deal any damage to like enemies. So I think those changes make this place way better. It is still pretty long and winding, but I don't know. I think it's in a pretty good spot. Like, if they don't make any more changes to it before it goes live, I think what they've done is good enough to make it a dungeon that you won't avoid at all costs. Maybe that's a pretty low bar, but I think it's okay. I do think some of the trash is still like pretty cringe, but it could be worse. It could be so much worse. We've seen it so much worse. Like I remember trying to time that one on a 15 in BFA to get to get Keystone Hero. Oh man, like 15 Tyrannical in that place was awful. But it definitely feels a lot better now. Alright. I'm kind of wondering if I should give... should we give Stone Vault another try? I kind of want to see if they make any changes to it next week before I go back in there again. Because like that dungeon is so overtuned that's not even fun. Also, it's just taking so long to get dungeon groups tonight that I don't want to like try and push that again. I've got some meetings early tomorrow. I might just call it a little bit early tonight. It has been a great stream. Thank you everybody for stopping by. I am planning on doing videos for Demon Hunter and Paladin at some point in the near future. Demon Hunter is going to be next. I'm hoping I can get that out next week. I need to do more testing with the different hero talents and get a better feel for them before I make that video. And then Paladin, like, I might delay that one a little bit longer because it feels like it's not even viable to play right now. And I don't want to make a judgment on how it feels based on tuning in the beta. I feel like that's really silly. So I don't want to do that. But I also want to get the videos out eventually with enough time before launch as possible. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I am also going to start a series just kind of doing like voiceovers of the different dungeons and how they feel so that we can start to prep for season 1. I'm trying to find a place where I can like actually make routes. I haven't seen... I looked at Method Dungeon Tools and I wasn't able to find a version that's been updated for the beta. And Keystone Guru, if it has been updated, I couldn't find where the Season 1 dungeons are. So we'll see. We may just have to wait until those are ready to go. We've only had 2 weeks of Mythic Plus testing, so I'll be patient on that. But it would be nice to have routes to at least use as a starting point. But anyway, thank you everyone for stopping by. I really appreciate all of you and all the feedback we've been getting. I hope you guys continue to enjoy the videos and the streams. It's been great hanging out, and I will probably be streaming again on Wednesday this week, maybe starting a little bit later, maybe like 9:30 or so. But until then, I hope you all have a great week, and I will talk to you guys next time. Farewell, friends.